Is this the image you received when you heard the scriptures read? He read it twice. I stand at the corners of the street, whispering. Is that what it said? No. Shouting. A sign in bold letters. He says, at the city gates, that's where law is sorted out. People bring arguments to court. City gates, I'm right there, where everybody is gathered. And I'm trying to get your attention. When was the last time you saw somebody standing on a soapbox with a bullhorn, corner of the street? I first saw that here in the United States in 2009. I had attended the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church USA in St. Paul, Minnesota. Thousands of people had gathered at this place, and as we were going into the center, here was a group of people literally standing on a soapbox, bullhorns, speaking loudly to make sure we knew what they were passionate about. You could not go into the center without hearing what they had to say. Now, if you've ever been in such a situation, I don't know about you, but when I see that, my tendency is to keep on moving, right? I mean, keep on moving. Just keep passing through. Keep passing through, because if you stop, you create an audience, and if you create an audience, you encourage them. Every year, on the campus of PSU, a certain preacher comes to campus. Maybe you've heard about this. He stands in the oval, right in the middle of campus, and he begins to preach at these students that are going to and from classes and dormitories and whatnot. And campus security is called there ahead of time. I'm not kidding you. 2 years ago, I was invited to go and stand with the students because it gets pretty intense. He calls them names, he insults them, and some of them begin to go at him, and campus security has to intervene. It's pretty brutal. It happens twice a year, right here on our campus. So again, when I run into somebody trying to get a lot of attention on the side of the road, my tendency is keep on moving. Just keep on moving. And that's what we tried to do on campus. Dr. Kristen Humphrey said, we're just encouraging the students just to keep moving, because when they stop, they're going to get them engaged, and just keep moving. But it never quite works. Sooner or later, like an accident on the side of the road, people stop and stare. And a crowd gathers, and there's an audience. This text that we read captures wisdom in that pose. The text says wisdom is standing on the side of the road with a huge sign. Now, I don't know how that makes you feel. We say we want wisdom. Where can we find wisdom? And here come to find out, actually, wisdom is trying to find us. Wisdom is doing everything possible to get our attention. So what is going on? What's going on? Because if you read a little bit further in the text, it says, how long will you clueless people, not very kind words to be said out in church, right? Clueless. How long will you hold on to your naivety? One of my favorite shows on TV right now is a Shark Tank. Have you seen that show? And not long ago, one of the sharks was talking with another shark about dealing with a particular person who came before them and trying to get a little money to start his business. And they did not get a deal from the sharks, but here was the issue. This guy who was standing in front of them was not ready to know what he didn't know. Are you listening? We don't know what we don't know. So if you're very sure of yourself, that what you have is solid, that's one condition. And you add to that condition the fact that you don't know what you don't know and you are not even open to it. It can't be helped. It can't be helped. Because you just don't know what you don't know and you're not opening to finding out so. It's kind of a sad situation to be in. Pretty sure, and yet we don't know what we don't know. So wisdom says, I'm trying to get your attention. I'm trying to get your attention. When you hear the phrase, how long? What do you think about? How long? When I read it this morning, I thought immediately of hearing a voice from the back seat of our car. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Mom, how long are we going to be here waiting for this thing? Dad, how long am I going to sit here? How long? When you hear how long, what do you think about? Think of that couple who have been praying for a child for years. Somebody is saying how long? My brother, back in Ghana, asked me to file for citizenship for him when I became a citizen. That was 2004. His visa has still not been approved. He's asking, how long? His case has not even been looked at. How long? So how long suggests to me the idea that, boy, somebody is waiting for a long time and is kind of running out of options, running out of time. How long? Well, there's a certain suffering going on. How long? Well, the child in the back seat needs to use the restroom, and how long before we get to the nearest exit? How long? That's what I think about when I read how long. And wisdom is saying, how long will you hold on to your naivety? It suggests to me maybe her hands are getting a little tired holding up that sign and standing on that stoop on the side of the road. How long, people? How long? Right. Something else in the text. The text says that you should listen to me, or you should respond to me when I correct you. Then I will give you my spirit and I will reveal my word to you. That means there's more, right? There's more. There's more. Now, that's just what came to my mind when I sat with the text. And we're talking today about receiving a personal word of wisdom from the text. That's what we're talking about today. And here's how it works. Here is a plane of the text, and here is a plane of my life and your life right now. And so when you sit with the text, there's an intersection between the text and your life as it is being lived right now. And at this intersection, there is a word of wisdom for you right now. And that's why when you do this exercise tomorrow, same text, because you are at a different place dealing with different things, you might intersect with the text at a different place and receive a different word of wisdom for you then. Does this make sense? So there are a few steps in this process. Can't explain it all here, let alone show you how it is done. But if you would come to centering prayer on Wednesday, this Wednesday at 6, I can take you through the whole process. But first, it's just read the text. Just read it. That's the first step. There's plenty of room on your bulletin today. We're just giving you big papers so you can write on them. So feel free to take notes if you want. But that's the first step. Read the text. Just read it out loud. Just read it. So one word, read it. That's it. Just read it out loud. Often it's just 3 verses, maybe 5 maximum. Just read the text. That's the first step. Second step is to chew on the text. Chew on the text. Steve, your cattle on the field do a lot of chewing, don't they? Yes, they do. They don't always chew raw grass. They chew what is called the cud, right? They eat first, and then they sit somewhere, and that which has been chewed once comes back up, and they process it some more. That's what meditation is. Just process it again. You know how that is. That's what we do when we worry, right? You just bring it up again and you turn it around. We all do this all the time. Do that with the text. So read it and chew on it. Just chew on it. Do you have to sit still while you chew on it? No. It can be on the treadmill. Sure. It can be during the Sunday afternoon drive. Why not? Just chew on it. It can be while you're preparing food at the kitchen. It can be while you're serving somebody. Just bring it to mind and process it again. That's step 2. So step 1 is just read the text. Step 2 is chew on it. Step 3 is pay attention to what stands out in the text, what jumps out to you. And the reason why it jumps out is that there is something going on in your life which it addresses. That's why that jumps out on this particular day. Something is going on. That's where the wisdom for today is going to come from. Something is going on. Maybe the word that jumps out is how long? I wonder why that comes up for me, right? Maybe the word that comes up is, or maybe another phrase out of the text, standing at the gate, trying to get your attention. Maybe that's a phrase. Any phrase or image that jumps out, that's what you process. You just sit with that. Okay? You've read the text, you've chewed on it, you're wondering what jumps out. Number 4, turn that into prayer. Just turn it into prayer. So here was my prayer after I was done sitting with this text this morning. God, I have no idea why I don't pay attention. I don't know. If this text is true, you have been standing on the side of the road, huge sign up, you are on the chair. I mean, this is not like me looking for a needle in the haystack. I mean, everything is being done to get my attention. Why don't I get it? So my request to God is, God, increase in me a desire to pay attention to what you are trying to teach me. That's just my prayer out of today's conversation with a text. I might take the same text 2 weeks from now, and because my life is somewhere else, something else will come up. That's how you receive wisdom, a word of wisdom for yourself from the text. So that's a practice. Talked it through, lived it out before you. And so that's my prayer for us, Read it, chew it, see what stands out, sit with it, turn it into prayer. How long?